I am going to talk about a mysterious incident.
Mysterious.
Yes.
Unsolved mystery?
That happened in the 1960s.
Okay.
This requires a little bit of background. So in 1957, in what was then Dutch New Guinea, it's now Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, that's how I know it.
It was a place of dense, dark jungles.
Okay.
Tribesmen, mountains, very
Danger.
isolated
Bushmen.
area. Yes.
Danger.
At the time, there was some contention because the brand new country of Indonesia was moving in on the territory and trying to claim some of it. The Dutch were desperately trying to keep it, and the UN was kind of giving them problems about it, and they wanted to make it seem like they were a civilizing force on the island and trying to make it, good and livable.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, some of the tribes were fighting each other. They were having a bit of a war on the island. So the Dutch didn't want anyone to find out about this, so they sent in some soldiers to quell the fight, stop it.
Mhm.
Stop the fighting.
Now, these tribal peoples, very little to no contact with the outside world ever.
Yeah.
They're aware that there are people out there, but they view it in their civilization as sort of anything coming from off the island is from the spirit world. So they regard these outsiders as almost like
gods.
Not so much gods, but like ghosts or demons.
Oh,
They're a supernatural entity.
Yes.
that's great.
So these Dutch soldiers come in, contact with them, and they're trying to stop them from fighting. But the tribals are like, these are evil entities. Let's fight them. So they try to kill them.
Okay.
And the Dutch end up shooting like 5 of them and then having to leave. So they've killed 5 people and they're out. Fast forward to 1961.
They go back.
Michael Rockefeller. This is the
Oh,
boy.
great grandson of John D. Rockefeller, or Standard
Yeah.
Oil. He is the son of Nelson Rockefeller, the governor of New York and future vice president. He is kind of a hippie guy. He's into art. He loves like ancient and primitive. He calls it primitive art.
Okay.
Like these
Yeah.
pre-industrial, outlying peoples in the jungle.
Native arts
He's
and
into
shit.
it.
Low skill art.
Low skill. He wants to go to New Guinea and meet these Asmat people. So he does. As part of like a documentary team. And he's part of making this documentary film that gets made. You can see it.
Oh, cool.
He learned the Asmat people, by the way, it's an open secret.
Cannibals?
They are brutal cannibals.
Okay.
They've been eating people for centuries and centuries.
Oh, great.
But he makes contact with them. He has, he can talk to them a little bit and learn about them, and they film them doing their tribal shit. He goes back to America.
Has this footage.
Yes. And decides he wants to go on a second expedition back.
That's a bad move.
This time he's going to take anthropologists with him and like do a real study of these people.
Get to the heart of it.
Should have brought just guns and kill them all.
They're on a boat out on the ocean off the coast of the island. A storm comes in.
Oh, no.
The boat capsizes.
Oh, no.
They survive the storm by
They're stronger than the storm.
holding on to the hull of the upturned boat for 24 hours. They're out in the ocean.
Just holding onto the boat.
Trying to wait out the rain. And they do. But now they're out on the ocean. They can see the island 12 miles in the distance. After waiting for 12 hours on the top of this upturned boat, Michael Rockefeller decides he's got a better chance if he straps 2 gasoline tanks to him as like buoys and make a swim for it. He thinks the last thing anyone has ever heard this man say is, "I think I can make it," as he jumps into the ocean and swims. He is never seen or heard from by anyone ever again. Now,
yeah,
that's where this is where the story gets weird.
Okay.
I mean,
we can assume.
we assume he died trying to make it.
Or he made it and got eaten.
So,
Right.
The Dutch. This is the governor of New York's son.
Yeah.
He's from one of the wealthiest families to ever exist. He's a powerful guy. The Dutch government will do 2 weeks of searching for him. They scour the island. They talk to locals.
Nobody sees him.
There's no sign of him whatsoever.
I feel like the locals would have said, yeah, we saw him.
The Rockefellers want their son back. So they hire a private investigator to go to the island and try and find what happened to him.
Oh boy.
The investigator. Oh, and they put out
What year is this?
1961.
Okay.
They put out a.
I was hoping you were gonna say 40s because imagine like, you want me to go find your son
I'll find your son.
in the jungle. Like
maybe he still
Humphrey
spoke
Bogart.
like that.
He's a flatfoot.
Yeah.
So this guy goes to the island, and the Rockefellers
He's
have.
in the fucking jungle, full trench coat, fedora.
Where were you on the night of April
Full
10th? There's a guy with his dick hanging out, holding
Chewing
a
on an arm.
I don't like the cut of your jib, see?
There's $250,000 in reward money for anyone who can find some information on it.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So the investigator goes to the island. He interviews some of the locals. He meets a man wearing glasses that suspiciously look like Michael Rockefeller's glasses.
I think I've heard this.
Yeah.
He asked the guy.
Excuse me, just one more thing.
With Columbo.
Columbo.
Columbo's here. He asked the guy, "Where'd you get those glasses?" The guy's like, "I found them." Doesn't tell him anything.
Yep.
But he does meet someone with 3 human skulls that he claims came from white men that they have killed and eaten.
Okay.
And he says that one of them is the man that he's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He trades a boat engine for the 3 skulls and brings them back to America. There's nothing other than hearsay about that. Like, this is just what we've heard. There's no documentation.
And he gave them a
about it.
boat engine.
Yes.
Which what use?
I don't know. Maybe they
Yeah.
ripped it apart and made tools out of it. But we do know for a fact that the Rockefellers gave this man the reward money.
Okay.
Okay.
The detective.
Yes. Now, fast forward to 2014.
Oh wow.
A guy named Carl Hoffman writes a book called
Mhm.
Savage Harvest about this incident.
Okay.
And he does deep investigative journalism.
Is the tribe still there?
He goes to the island to meet with the tribe. So this guy, Carl Hoffman, he comes to find out that missionaries on the island in 1961 heard what had happened to Michael Rockefeller and reported it to the church and to the Dutch government. And it was covered up because a week after this, the Dutch government was giving a speech at the UN about how they are trying to save the island and civilize it, and they did not want this getting out.
Okay.
He also goes to the island, and as soon as he gets there, like within an hour of getting there, he has an interpreter with him, and his interpreter's listening to what the villagers are saying to each other. He hears 2 guys say to each other, "Don't tell the white men about the guy we killed." So he's like, "We got to talk to these guys," and he starts interviewing the people. And he, after pressing them a little bit, they straight up tell him, "We found him on the beach. And as revenge for what the Dutch had done in 1957 when they killed the 5, it was the two of the sons of the guys that got killed when the Dutch shot them.
Okay.
Stabbed him with spears.
So he did make it.
He did make it.
Did make it.
Stabbed him with spears. They brought him back to the village. They cracked his skull open. They ate his brains. They peeled the skin off his bones.
You took out his brain, you bloody baboon.
Ate him. And then use his bones to make tools and weapons.
Jesus.
And that is what happened to Michael Rockefeller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he the last Rockefeller? Like, is the line dead?
I don't think so. I'm sure they're still around. But yeah. Pretty fucked up.
Fucked up, but I kind of I should feel a little more worse for the guy than I do.
The guys on the boat. I didn't say this. They
Yeah.
got rescued because a boat just happened by hours after he swam away.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
fucking ass. Wow. Yeah,
There are over 250 members of the family who are direct descendants of John D.
There
Rockefeller.
you go.
So
pays to be in that bloodline. Yeah, if you're doing research on cannibals and you get eaten by cannibals, I don't know if I should feel so bad.
did you ever see
like, you know what you're gonna get to.
did you see the movie Green Inferno?
No.
Eli Roth made it. It's
Oh, I think I saw like the parts of it, not the whole thing. yeah.
so these like college like hippies, they go
Mhm.
on like a trip and they come across South American cannibals.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Mm.
Eli Roth does a lot of like brutal torture porn, though. I feel.
I don't think so. I think Hostel is, but I don't think like that is, you know?
Mhm.
I think that works for the story because it's cannibals.
Right.
But that's a brutal story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did recent events inspire you to pick this one?
I saw on Instagram someone
Barbecue,
talking
right?
about it,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, "This is an interesting." And I looked into it, and it was very fascinating. So
I thought you were talking about I thought
barbecue in Haiti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbecue is a bad dude.
That's scary.
Yeah, hit him with a bite lock.